today I'm potting up some plants. I have a ton of tomato plants I need to pot up. As you can see up there, my tomatoes have gone wild. So I'm going to pot those up today. It's freezing outside. We're getting flurries. This winter just won't go away. Since I'm stuck inside, let's do a little garden chat. Most people probably know how to pot their plants up. Just in case, you can watch this video if you don't know. But I figured I'd maybe offer a little gardening advice. Stuff I've learned over the years. Maybe offer some tips, some ways to score things cheap. You know I love cheap. Let's have a chat. So I have all these tomato plants. I'm going to sell these. I have my own tomato plants that I already grew, which are up there. So this is 72 tomato plants, and they need to be potted up individually and labeled. The cheapest thing you're going to find to pot up your plants are the red cups. They're cheap. They're much cheaper than buying these things. Real small holes in the bottom. Number one benefit of these red cups, they're reusable. The second benefit of these cups are the exact size of that garden trowel thingy, whatever you call it. I have no idea. It's a tool you use to transplant your plants. It's the exact size of this cup. It's genius. When you're potting up your plants, you need to make sure you use potting mix. Don't use your seed starting mix. It's not going to work. I usually use organic potting mix. The store was out and I was desperate. So, ignore this yellow bag. I was desperate. So here's how we do this thing. You're going to want your soil moist before you replant so that the root doesn't fall apart. You want to keep that intact. You don't want to mess that up. Let's get started. Fill the cup up a little bit. Little potting mix at the bottom. Alright, you can see I let them go too long. They're a little root bound. See the roots swirling? And I have 3 plants in here. So when you have 3 plants, you want to make sure you keep the strongest one. I hate separating the roots. So usually I will just pick them. I'm going to try and separate these roots here. I try and separate the roots by rubbing it in my hand, squeezing it. Now, it's easier to separate the roots if it's dry. Like I said, normally I just keep the strongest plant, pluck the rest. But I figured I'd show you one just so you know how to do it. See how that soil comes apart? You just got to gently work it. Voila. Just like that. Now, if your roots are too closely bound, I suggest just culling the plant that's the weakest. You don't want to damage the good plant trying to make 2, you know? These are pretty easy to separate. When you're replanting tomatoes, you plant them up to the leaves. These are the first leaves on the plant. Clip them. I'm going to plant it so the soil level goes to here on the plant, all the way up to here. That will make your roots stronger, make your plant stronger, do better in your garden. Make sure you press your soil down. You don't want any air pockets in there. Most people do this outside, but it's freezing outside for me, and I don't have a greenhouse. I'm in a spare room that doesn't have any floor. It's just plywood, so I don't care if I make a mess in here. Alright, there's our first one. Now we have 500 more to go. Okay guys, so let's get started on our gardening chat. I'm going to continue planting some tomatoes. I'll just talk to you about some tips and tricks I picked up along the way. One of the first things I learned as a gardener was you gotta mulch. It's a must. Unless you want to spend your whole time out there weeding and watering and breaking up the soil because it's all clay-like and hard and clumpy, you should probably use some mulch. Unless you have great soil, which, let's face it, most of us don't. So I highly recommend using mulch. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I have mulch everywhere. It is so time-saving when it comes to weeding and watering. It keeps your soil from cracking. I can tell you I have never been disappointed. Tip number 2 that I have for you guys is that why buy it if you can make it yourself. Now, lots of people work and don't have time to do things themselves. I understand. Don't be scared to try. I built my own chicken coop. I have no building experience. I can't cut a straight line if my life depended on it, honestly. So, I made one. I had some advice, had a little help, but I built it. And if I can build my own chicken coop, I'm sure there's something that you guys who don't think you can do can actually accomplish. You just got to have the will to do it. If you want it done, it'll get done. So always make your stuff. Don't buy the latest gimmick. I know, a lot of people, you see a lot of things on YouTube. They're things that either A, people haven't tested, or B, it's like a novelty idea. It's great, it works, but it's not really practical. Just don't get sucked into the latest gardening gimmick. It's not necessary. Keep things simple. Another piece of gardening advice I'd like to give you guys is don't use pesticides. I know that a lot of people do organic gardening, and if you're watching me and others garden, you probably are trying to avoid pesticides, but there are still those that use them, and I have to tell you to stop it. You're killing our bees. We don't need pesticides in our backyard. I know that there is a big controversy and debate over pesticides, and a lot of scientific evidence has been thrown around, but here's the thing. If you can't eat it, you don't want it on your plant. Plain and simple. You use pesticides to kill something, you send the system out of whack. You want your plants to grow healthy and strong in your environment, and if you're killing off the stuff that kills your plants are never going to get strong. They're never going to fight the bugs and the disease. I know, it's heartbreaking to lose a crop to insects. Believe me, I've lost tons of zucchini and cucumbers. I can't grow them because I have too many pests. I have the scarlet bug, whatever it is, the squash bug, the squash beetle. I have it all. And I can't grow those things without using a cover. So I can either choose to not grow them or modify what I do, but I'm not going to put pesticide on it. Again, if I can't put it in my mouth, then I don't want it on my plant. Because the whole purpose is for you to grow something healthy, not cancer-ridden. If you use pesticides, I'm sorry. I don't mean to knock you. It's just not something I agree with. Next piece of advice. Here's something I'm going to say here now. People are going to disagree, but it's true. If you want to grow your own plants and you see all of us with these wonderful grow stations, you want to set your own grow station up at home, don't go buy the expensive grow lights. You don't need them. I have shop lights using T12 fluorescent bulbs. I have a cool bulb and a warm bulb in each lamp. They cost me $14.99 per lamp. These are fluorescent bulbs doing their job. Your plants are only in here while they sprout and while they're waiting to go outside. So you don't need to buy the expensive lights to get your plants growing. Don't be fooled. Don't get sucked in. Yes, they're nice to have. I don't want to knock anyone that uses them. By all means, if you are a person that is growing food professionally, you probably have professional grow lights. That's what you use. That's the industry standard. I'm talking about us home people. Now, there are some people that have invested a lot of money into these grow lights. They work. They truly work. But so do mine. So, am I going to pay $150 to $500 per light? Or am I going to pay $14.99 for my light? I've been doing it this way for 7-8 years now. I have no complaints. So, when I go buy more lights, it's going to be the shop lights, not the grow lights. You decide, again, whatever works for you. But I'm just saying, $14.99, plants are doing fine. I have no complaints. Alright, so what else did I learn gardening? If you are planting your stuff, I hope you guys know you should be watering from the bottom. It's the point of these little holes. It's not just for drainage. This is how the plant gets moisture. I put these plants in here like this. I line these plants up in here, and then I pour water in the tray. I don't water each individual plant. First, that takes you all day long. And second, it's going to give you problems with mold, fungus, and disease. So let's avoid that. We're going to water from the bottom. You fill the tray up. It takes 2 seconds. Poof. No mold, no mildew. The other thing I want to tell you guys is to make sure you start growing wherever you are. You need to learn this. It takes a lot of years to be successful at gardening, trust me. Even if you know all the right things and you've read all the right books and watched all the right videos, you're still going to screw it up. It's life. So don't be scared, but you have to try. Grow where you are. Grow right now. Try it. That's the best advice I have for you guys. Just go ahead and start now. It's never too late to learn how to do it. All these beautiful plants you see around me, it's easy. It's so easy. You just have to be dedicated. You'll get it. All I want to do is try to encourage you to grow your own food and maybe teach you a little something on the way. But I'm not an expert. You do what works for you where you're at. So I hope you enjoyed my dirt cheap tips today and my gardening advice. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing with you guys what I do. I hope I didn't offend anybody. I don't want to knock anybody's system. What you do is what you do. If it works for you, go for it. The important thing is that you grow something, grow your own, in your own way now. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.